Hello everyone, it's Amy and welcome back for week 96 of Build Your Stash and Craft. This week we are going to make hole reinforcers for the holes in our tags or for holes that you have in pages that you're putting together with binder rings. And so what I had you pick up this week was the stickers from the Dollar Tree that you can get for garage sales. I had some here. And I needed some hole reinforcers and didn't have any, so I painted them brown and I've been using them for a while now, and it worked really well. But then I bought these, and so that we would have them for our stash, and I'm finding that they're not covering up as well as I had hoped. I had used brown because I was using tea stain papers. Brown is my favorite color to use most of the time, so that worked out really well, but the lighter colors are not working as well. But there are still ways to get around that. So the first thing that I did was I tried to just cover them with just paint. And so these ones are, we've got 2 coats of yellow or orange and 1 coat, and the same thing here. I've got 2 coats, 1 coat of brown, 2 coats of tan, 1 coat of tan. This is also 1 coat of tan, and as you can see, the 2 coats works pretty good, but the 1 coat's not working very well at all, and you don't want to take time to put 5 million coats of paint on your thing. So if your paints are a heavier body paint, they're going to cover better. I did try painting them white, and these ones I heat dried because I wasn't sure if I heat dried them if they would still be sticky on the back, and they are. So heat drying is okay. And then we looked at those. Now, then I painted some black. The black covers perfectly, obviously, because it's covering the black numbers. But then put paint on them. This is 1 coat of the orange and 2 coats of the orange. Now, my orange is very, quite translucent, so it's not covering the black real well, but the 2 coats especially, I really like that one. I like the darkness behind it with a little bit of color on top. So I just kind of wanted to show you. This is 1 coat of white paint underneath and 2 coats of white paint underneath with the orange in color. So that just shows you the difference between putting black underneath or putting white underneath. And here we do have it with the tan. This is 2 coats of the tan and 1 coat of the tan. And then this is what the white looks like, 2 coats and 1 coat. So if you want to paint them, you're probably going to have to do 2 to 3 coats of paint to cover. This is the black with the brown on top. I really like that one. And then here I've got the tan with the black underneath. So I just wanted to show you this is what they look like, and to paint them you just use a paintbrush and you just paint them. So I'm not going to show you how to paint them. I just wanted to show you the different results that we got by painting them. And then here I tried fingernail polish. Now I had a darker color, covered really well. This is 2 coats of pink and 2 coats of blue and 2 coats of orange, and they're not covering well at all. Now, on the other hand, in a junk journal, because it's a lot of junky stuff, and originally that's where I had these just sitting around, and I thought that's what I'm going to use. It's a junk journal. And so, but actually these ones, especially with the color on top and the numbers showing through, they're actually kind of neat. So they might be fun to put in your junk journal. But I wanted to see, I haven't tried to see how they come off. So when you do peel them off, the fingernail polish is staying around the edges, and it's staying there pretty well. So you can peel it off, or you could cut it off, or you could leave it on there if you wanted to. And you could use this just as a sticker, or you can punch a hole in the center and use it as a hole reinforcement. So there we go. I'm going to get, there's a little bit of a piece here that's too big. I'm going to kind of leave a little bit of that jaggy edge on there because I like that. And then in order to get my hole in the middle, what I did was I just took one of my stickers and I cut it out. And I left it on the backing because I didn't want it to be sticky. And I cut all the way around it so that I had my circle, so that I could find my center easily. Now you can also just do a cross across here. I really find for myself the easiest way to find center of a circle is to fold it in half and then fold it in half again, and then I definitely have my center. I know that my lines aren't off a little bit or anything like that, because when I try and draw a line across and a line across, inevitably they're never really in the middle. So I'm just going to fold this in half like that, and fold it in half again, just like that. And now I know that this point right here is the exact center of my circle. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, and you only have to take off a little bit, because whatever you take off, you're taking it off of 4 sides of the paper. So it's definitely going to be a lot bigger than what you think, you know, than what you think you cut. So I just took off the corner, and now there we have the center. Now when I want to go ahead and I want to punch a hole in the center of one of these, I can do one of two things. I can make a mark on there, or I can just hold it right on there, take my paper punch, go right over that center, and punch. And now there is my hole reinforcer. And I can go through and do that. And if you want to, you can just eyeball it and get pretty close probably. I'm not the best at eyeballing things. And then what you can do is, if it makes, because the paper is white, you can always color that either with a little bit more paint, because you can see a little bit of the white there, or you can use just a black permanent marker to cover that up. And then you've got your little hole reinforcer, and you just take it off of there. And I used the same punch to punch the holes in my tags, and so there it fits on there perfectly. So, and then if you're going to leave the tag where it can be pulled back back and forth, what you'll want to do is go ahead and put one also on the back side, so that no matter which side someone is looking at, it will have the hole reinforcer on there. Now, excuse me, a lot of people will say, well, what if those aren't lined up exactly? If you want them lined up exactly, put on the first one, and then leave the second one whole without punching a hole in it, because those holes are not necessarily in exactly the same place. So put on this one, put a whole one on here, and then hold it up to the light. Hold this side up to the light, and you'll be able to see exactly where your hole is. And you'll put this one on first, okay? Get this right. Put the one on with the hole, then hold it up to the light, then take your solid one and line it up on this side and put it on there, because you'll be able to see through your tag to see exactly where that other one is. And then once you have that on and all lined up, punch through it. Now, because you can see this side and you can see this side, nobody's going to know if these holes are exactly in the center of my thing, exactly the same. So to me, it doesn't make any difference. But just in case, if you have to have them in exactly the same spot, you can do it that way, if that made any sense whatsoever. And I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to cover up the white edges where it had been punched and the white edges of my card. And now I have my hole punch on there. So that's how you can use these for hole punches. And like I said, if you have something that's very light color, then it's not going to cover as well. But I'm going to take this and punch a hole in this one. Now it's best to punch your hole while you're still on your, I'm going to move this out of my way so I can put this back, while it's on there, so that you're not getting the sticky stuff on your punch, the sticky back of your sticker. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to line this up, punch a hole, and there we go. That's kind of fun. So you can just take that and put it on one of your tags. You might want to make sure that it's right side up. See, it's a little shabby around the edges, and I just think that's kind of fun, but that's totally up to you. You can cover them completely, or you can leave them with that showing through a little bit. So then I did want to show you, because I wasn't as happy with this, I also wanted to show you, this is colored with a watercolor marker, just the cheap kids watercolors. And if you color it enough, it will cover that up. What it starts to do is it starts to move that paint. and it makes it darker, and it kind of leaves it a little bit furry, a little bit like suede. The lighter colored one, by the time I got the number off, I'm pretty sure, we're going to peel that off of here. I'm pretty sure that this one went all the way through. We'll see. Oh, not quite. But so you can do it like that too and make it look really shabby and get rid of your numbers that way, but that does not work very well. I tried Awesome Cleaner, and the Awesome Cleaner really just kind of melted right through. I have some here somewhere. Melted right through. Here we go. So here I did get the numbers off, but look, it just really melted right through my sticker. Now these ones might have a little bit. They are so thin, they're like paper thin. So you have to be really, really careful because it really does go right through. And once you do that, you have to let it dry completely before you try and take it off. Because when I tried to take this one off, it just like, it was just melted. So you can take it off with the Awesome Cleaner. Be very, very careful and let it dry 100% before you decide to take it off, and color it before you decide to take it off. So that's with the Awesome Cleaner. And then what I decided to do, because I wasn't 100% happy with these, even though I was happy with them when I originally made them for myself, I was not as happy with them when I started doing them up for this for you. But what I want to show you is you can make any kind of hole reinforcer. And I'm actually kind of glad this didn't work out as well as I wanted it to, because I hadn't thought of this until this didn't work out, and I thought I really needed something extra to show you. This one has a square hole reinforcer put on the diagonal so it looks like a diamond. This one has a heart reinforcer. So I think these are really cool. I'm very excited about those. I'm happy that things didn't work out the right way. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take our shipping labels that we got the other day, and then you can just color on them, and make sure you color on the right side, because if you color on the wrong side, your heart will be white. I learned that. So I just went ahead and I just colored on here. And then in order to make sure that my hole is in the center of my heart, what I did was, the first thing I did was punched a hole. Cut myself a little square and then punched a hole. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this in half and cut the heart, but I'm going to fold it in half and make sure that that circle is all lined up right there. And then I am just going to, whoops, see how do I want to hold it like this. I'm just going to cut a heart. And now no matter how you cut that heart, that hole is going to be in the middle because you folded it right into the middle of your page. And there we go. Now we have a heart reinforcer. So all we need to do with that, let's see here. Color one, do we want to put it on? Let's put it on this one. Okay, so then in order to get your backing off, I have a hard time remembering which side's the backing. The backing is a little bit slicker. And then I just use a pokey tool of any sort and just kind of push at the point, just kind of push down and push up a little bit, and it will peel those apart. Just like that. And then you just take that and line it up with your hole. And again, whenever you're doing these, make sure you use your same hole punch, because they do come in different sizes. Oh, I didn't line that up very good. There we go. And just put that on there. And now we have a heart. And again, for the square, just as simple. Just go ahead, color it any color that you want to color it, and cut a square. You can cut an oval, a diamond, a rectangle. I'm going to see about cutting like a long diamond instead of a square. And there we go. Now we have an actual diamond. And now I could have punched a hole in that before I folded it or afterwards. The only one that I knew that I would have a really hard time trying to get the center of the heart. Although I have a hard time trying to get the center of anything. But that's not too bad. A little bit off center. So if I had folded that before I folded this diamond, it would have come out more in the middle. But let's find one to stick that on. Wonder how it would look on there. Yeah, I think I like it on there. There's a lot of contrast to that one. And again, just put it down. Just kind of push back on the corner. And it will start to lift, and then you can just take that away. You can also just, you know, like go in and just separate it this way, but I have a really hard time doing that. I have a hard time getting them apart. So I always use my pokey tool. Just line it up with my hole. And there we go. So now we have all sorts of tags or hole reinforcers. We have different shapes, different colors, and you can do them any way that you want to, and they turn out really cool. So for next week, what we're going to need, next week we are going to take, we have $51.50 in our bank. And for next week, we get another $5, so we will have $56.50 in our bank. So what I'm going to suggest is to, excuse me, we're going to buy punches. So I've decided that with this large amount, we needed to buy something that was, you know, a bigger purchase item. And, whoops, I unplugged my light. So what we're going to do is we're going to buy punches. If we bought a small die cutting machine, which you can get the little mini ones, the problem with that is that the dies are expensive. So you have the machine, but you can't necessarily use it. You may have a die or two to go with it. When you're starting out, to me, and this is my opinion, I think punches are better than dies to start with. And because you don't even know exactly how much you're going to use them. I also like punches better because when I want to use a punch, boom, I go get it, I cut it, I'm done, I can use it. With the die cutting machines, you have to get the die cutting machine out, you have to get the dies out, then you've got to cut it, and then you can use it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I have die cutting machines, I use them, I like them. But I also really enjoy my punches. So that's what we're going to do. We are going to spend $50 out of our $150, don't we wish. We're going to spend $50 out of our $56.50 and purchase punches. Now I do have a suggestion to make what to buy, because if you see a cute little punch, it's like, oh, that's so cute, it's a little elephant. Okay, it might be cute, but how often are you going to use a little elephant? So to start with, my suggestions are, start with a circle, a 1 inch or a 1.5 inch or a 1 3/4 or 2 inch circle, a scallop punch, circle scallop that is a little bit bigger than your circle. Then you can layer them. So if you get a 1 inch circle, get a 1.5 inch scallop. And then also a heart punch, a butterfly punch, and a flower punch. Now you may be able to get more than those punches, and you might want to get like a couple different sizes of flowers or a couple different hearts or whatever. Or you may want to get those and find in that cute little elephant punch. But spend $50 of what we've saved on punches. I ordered mine from Joann's online because Walmart, my Walmart doesn't have any punches whatsoever. And even online when I looked at Walmart, I didn't see any. So, you know, go to your craft store like Michael's or Joann's. If you can go there and get a coupon off, that would be really great. And you know, my suggestions again are circles, flowers, hearts, butterflies, and scallop circles. Those ones I think that you will find that you use the most. So, but purchase whatever it is that you want. But this way we get to treat ourselves this week, and we get to get something really nice because we have saved over the last almost 2 years and, you know, got our bigger ticket items, and this is our next big ticket item. So thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.